We all breathe oxygen. It has a major role in cellular respiration, which is a process that makes energy for us. Once it goes inside our bodies, it supplies all cells. Without oxygen, our neurons wouldn't be able to tell the body what to do. Without oxygen, the muscle cells wouldn't be able to move the body. Without this important molecule, there is no life. Of course, since oxygen is so important, we need to have a body system that can maintain this process. This body system is known as the respiratory system. You might be wondering how oxygen moves around the body. The respiratory and the circulatory systems both play a role in this movement. The goal of the respiratory system is to exchange carbon dioxide for oxygen, and the goal of the circulatory system is to move the oxygen and carbon dioxide around the body. There are two parts in the respiratory system. There is the conduction zone, which is composed of the nasal cavity, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, and bronchioles, and the respiratory zone has the alveoli, where the gas exchange takes place. Once oxygen goes through our nose, the first place it will reach is the nasal cavity. In the nasal cavity, there are cilia, or hair-like structures that can trap dangerous particles, such as dust and bacteria, from entering our respiratory pathways. Additionally, in the nasal cavity, there is mucus that can help moisten and warm the air we breathe in. After going to the nasal cavity, the air will go to the pharynx. The pharynx is the pathway both for food and air. There are three sections in the pharynx: nasopharynx, oropharynx, and laryngopharynx. At the end of the laryngopharynx, air and food will go their own separate ways. Air will go to the larynx, and food will go to the esophagus. Since the larynx and esophagus are in proximity with each other, there is a structure called the epiglottis. When food passes by, the epiglottis will close the larynx, ensuring that our respiratory pathway won't get blocked by food. As air passes through the larynx, it will vibrate the vocal cords and create sound. So, the larynx is commonly known as our voice box. After passing through the larynx, the air will go through the trachea. Like in a nasal cavity, the trachea has cilia that will prevent dust, bacteria, and viruses from entering the lungs, and the mucous membrane that can help keep the air we breathe in warm and moist. The trachea was split into two bronchi, one for each lung. The bronchi will transport the oxygen to the bronchioles, where it then will go to the alveoli, the gas exchange factory of the body. There are between 300 and 500 million alveoli in our lungs. After, the oxygen will go through the thin layer of the alveoli and bind to hemoglobin, a protein in red blood cells. This protein enhances the efficiency of oxygen transportation. Additionally, this protein gives the red blood cells its signature concave shape. Now, let's talk about the anatomy of the lungs. The lungs are located in the thorax, or chest. The ribs help protect these lungs from getting damaged. The lungs are divided into lobes. The right has 3 lobes and the left has 2. Additionally, did you know that the left lung is smaller than the right lung because of the heart? Also, if you remove the lungs, the remaining structures look like an upside-down tree. Here's your trachea, bronchi, and bronchioles. Underneath the lungs is the diaphragm, which is the main muscle that helps with breathing. When the muscle contracts, the space inside the chest cavity increases, allowing for the lungs to expand when the oxygen goes in. However, when the diaphragm relaxes, the space inside the chest decreases, allowing for air to exit out. Other muscles that can help with breathing, although they're not the main ones, are the intercostal muscles. These help with forced breathing, such as when you blow a candle. So, what can't control our breathing? Well, that is a job for the medulla oblongata, which is a section in your brainstem. There are monitors that can regulate the carbon dioxide levels in the body. When it detects that the levels aren't normal, it'll make your body breathe out. Did you know that every 3 to 5 seconds, nerves send information to start ventilation? Now, let's review. The air goes into the nasal cavity, where it gets moistened and the harmful particles get trapped. After, the air will go to the pharynx, where at the laryngopharynx, it enters the larynx or the voice box. Remember, in order to prevent food from entering your air pathway, the epiglottis closes the larynx. The air then goes to the trachea, where it will enter the bronchi, bronchioles, and alveoli of the lungs. At the end of this process, the oxygen gets carried through bloodstream and provided to all of the cells. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it.